All right, our warm-ups are like what we were doing last week. So we're just going to check our answers. Jamal said he got -2, 3. So what's getting plugged in for x? The -2, and then for y, the 3. So we have -3, parentheses, -2, -3, parentheses, 3, equals -3. What is -2 times -3? A +6, minus 3 times 3, 9, -9 or -9. What is 6 minus 9? -3. So did it work in the first one? Yes, it sure did. Then we still have to check the bottom equation, so I'm going to erase this so I can check the other one. I already know the first one worked. -7 times -2 minus 3 times 3 equals 5. That's what we're checking now. -7 times -2 is 14. Minus 3 times 3 is still 9. 14 minus 5, or sorry, 14 minus 9 is 5. So did it work in that one? Yes. So did Jamal get it right?
No.
Yes, he sure did. Did anybody else get the same answer? Good. We should have. All right, who has an answer for number 2 that we can check? Keon? 8, 2? Okay. 8, 2. All right, so we check it in the first one. Let's do a little bit quicker of a check. What is 2 times 8? 16. Minus 2 times 2? 4. Is that going to come out to -12? No, that would come out to a +12. Okay, Kyan?
This should be -8, -2.
You think make them both negative? Okay. So let's try that. What is -8 times 2? -16. And -2 times -2? Is a +4. Does -16 plus 4 equal -12? Yes, okay. So it works in the first one. Let's check the bottom one. 2 times -8 again is -16. -8 times -2 is a +16. -16 plus 16, does that equal 0? Yes, okay. So I would agree that -8, -2 is correct. Did anybody else get that one? One other person got it. 2 other people got it. Okay. Today's lesson, which we'll also work on tomorrow, is very similar to what we were doing last week. We are still going to be using the elimination method, or if you prefer, the addition-subtraction method. It's going to be the same idea. However, the 2 equations in a system do not always have the same or opposite coefficients on one of their terms. You may need to multiply an equation. So last week, what did we always multiply by when we needed to? A -1. Today, we might have to multiply by some other number. All right. Remember, in order to use the addition or subtraction method, the coefficients of one of the variables had to be opposites. Today, we will have to multiply to change the coefficients into opposites. On number 1, if we look at our coefficients on x and on y, do we have opposites? No. Will multiplying one of the equations by -1 make us have opposites? No, because none of the numbers even match each other, right? We've got 6, 3, 1, and 2. So we're going to have to multiply an equation by something else other than a -1 to make that happen. Jay Sean? Which equation do you want to multiply, the top or the bottom? The bottom equation by -2. So on these, you have options. If you wanted to multiply the top equation by -2, that also would have ended up working out. It just would have eliminated the other variable. If we multiply the bottom equation by -2, what do we get? -6x minus 4y equals, what's 9 times -2? -18. Okay, so this time everything got multiplied by a -2. Still, since we multiplied by a negative, all of the signs had to change. Are we changing the top equation? No. It's going to stay exactly the same. Okay, so multiplying it by -2 set us up to eliminate which variable? The x. A positive 6x and a -6x means that those are going to cancel out now when we combine down our columns. So from here on out, the problem is just like what we were doing last week. Okay, you get to choose which variable you want to eliminate. So you get to choose which equation you're going to multiply by some number. And you have to figure out what number to multiply by. All right, let's finish up this problem. If we combine our y's, what are we left with? -3y equals, if we combine those constants, -12. Keon, how would I finish solving for y? Divide by -3. What do I get for y? Y equals 4. Ellie, what do you think we should do next?
Should plug 4 to the other thing.
Okay, we need to plug 4 back in so that we can find x. So again, you get to choose which equation you plug it into. I like the idea of plugging it into the top one that we never changed, but that's not the only option. So we have 6x plus 4 equals 6. Delaney, what should I do to solve for x? We're in the red over here. Oop, we're over here.
Did you plug in?
Yep, we plugged in the 4 to that y, and that's how we got
Subtract
this.
the 4 from both sides.
Good. Subtract 4 from both sides. 6x equals 2. Lexi, my last step to solve for x. Divide by 6. Who can tell me what x equals? Connie?
3.
What?
3.
No. Jaquan? 1/3. Good. Okay, if you have a smaller number on top, it's going to stay a fraction. So we just simplify it to 1/3. We still have to write our answer as an ordered pair. So x was 1/3, comma, y was 4. Questions about number 1? Okay, let's try it again. So on number 2, we have to decide which variable we want to eliminate. Anybody have any ideas on which one they want to go away? Ellie?
Multiply the bottom by 2.
By a positive 2?
By a negative 2.
Okay, multiply the bottom by a negative 2 again. Okay, I like this idea. So let's write what we would have left when we do that. The top one's not changing. Who can tell me what the bottom equation becomes? Jamal? Good. We multiplied everything by a negative 2. So the signs changed. Things that were positive became negative. The minus in the middle became a plus. The top one didn't change, so which variable are we set up to eliminate now? The y's. The y's are going to cancel each other out now. They are opposites. So those are going to cancel. 4x minus 6x. Is negative 2x. 10 minus 24 is negative 14. Jeriel, what should I do to get x alone? Good. What do we get for x? X equals positive 7. We still need to use that in order to find our y, so we are going to take it and plug it back in. So you get to choose where it goes in. I prefer to use the equation we haven't changed yet most of the time. So I'm going to plug it into the top. So that gives me 4 times 7 minus 2y equals 10. What's 4 times 7? 28 minus 2y equals 10. Ryan, what should I do to solve? We're in the green over here.
You have to subtract the 28 on both sides.
Good. We subtract 28 on both sides. What is 10 minus 28? Negative 18. I'm running out of space down there. The last thing I need to do to get y alone, Jamaro, divide by what? Negative 2. Good. And what does y equal? 9. So we divide by negative 2. And we get y is equal to 9. So we still write our answer as an ordered pair, x, comma, y. All right, on number 3. Sometimes I think it helps if you decide which variable you want to eliminate first. And on number 3, we really have 2 good options. But let's still go through the process of deciding. Do we want to get rid of x, or do we want to get rid of y? You tell me. Why? Okay. So if I'm aiming to get rid of y, I want their coefficients to be opposites. They already have opposite signs. One of them is negative, one of them is positive. But then we still need these numbers to match for them to be true opposites. So which equation do I need to change? The top or the bottom? The top one. It's going to be easier to take a small number and turn it into a big number with multiplication. What do I need to multiply the top by? A 2. If I multiply the top by a 2, then I know this is going to become a negative 8, and that's what I need it to be. Negative 4 times 2 would make a negative 8. So we just multiply everything else like we normally would. 7 times 2 is 14x minus 8y equals 18. Am I changing the other equation? Nope, we're going to leave it alone. Negative 14x plus 8y equals negative 4. Okay. What happens to our variables? They both cancel out. Okay, so that's why on this one it didn't really matter if you wanted to aim to get rid of x's or y's. They both cancel out at the same time. So the x's cancel and the y's cancel.
Oh, you multiplied it times a positive 2?
Yes, we multiplied by a positive 2. All right, but I still have to write something on that side of the equal sign. So what do I write?
0.
A 0. If there's nothing left, I still write a 0. What about 18 minus 4? 14. What does that mean for our answer? There is no solution. 0 does not equal 14. Our variable went away completely, so there's no solution. So that's why I said I think that one's a special case. I do not think that number 4 is a special case. I think we should actually get an answer on that one. So let's start the process over. We have to decide which variable we're getting rid of. Jamal says y. Does anybody agree with that? Okay, we should. I think y is going to be the easier one to get rid of. They already have different signs. We've already got a positive and a negative. So we just need to make them match the numbers. Should we multiply the top or the bottom?
Top.
The top by what number?
2.
A 2 again. It doesn't always have to be a 2. I know we've seen a lot of 2s. It can be any number. Positive, negative, big, small. You can use any number on these. Okay, so let's change the top. 2 times 4 is 8x. We already talked about how this is going to force that to be a minus 10y. 23 times 2 is 46. In the bottom, we are not changing it. So 3x plus 10y equals 31. All right, when we combine, which variable is going away? Y, which is good. That's what we decided from the very beginning, that's what we wanted to happen. The y's are going away. 8x plus 3x is 11x equals 77. To get x alone, we divide by 11. X equals 7. Okay, questions on the first half of that problem? All right, we found x. We still need to find y. So we are going to take that number for x, and we are going to substitute it back in for an x. So it's up to you if you want to use the top, the bottom, when you multiplied it, before you multiplied it, whatever. Any of those equations will work. I like to use the original one that we haven't changed yet, but any of them should get you the same answer. So 3 times 7 plus 10y equals 31. 3 times 7 is 21. To get y alone, I should subtract 21. Good. That leaves me with 10y equals 10. Last step. Divide by 10 and we get y equals 1. Again, my answer as an ordered pair is 7, 1. Who can tell me which variable they wanted to get rid of on number 5? Ryan?
I wanted to get rid of the y.
Okay, and how did you make that happen?
I multiplied them by negative 6.
Multiplied which one?
The top one,
The
negative 6.
Okay, multiply the top by -6. That sounds like a good plan to me. -6 times -4? Anyone? Is a 24, so 24x. -6 times -1 is a +6. And a -6 times -7 is 42. The bottom equation is not changing. We didn't multiply that one by anything. So when we combine our equations, which variable eliminates? The y's are going away. Those are the opposites that cancel out. 24x minus 5x is 19x equals 42 plus 15. 57. What should we do to get x alone? Divide by 19. And what do we get for x? 3. We still need to find the y, so we are going to take that 3 and plug it back in to one of the original problems. Well, really any of the problems. Any equation will work. I like to use the one we haven't changed yet. Equals 15. Okay, so then -5 times 3 is 15. -15. What do we do to get y alone? Add 15. -6y equals 30. To get y all alone, divide by -6 and y equals -5. Our answer, as an ordered pair, would be 3, -5. All right, what did we do on the last problem? What did you multiply by? A +3? Which equation, top or bottom? Okay, good. You should have started the last one by multiplying the top by a -3. That's going to get rid of which variable? The x. Okay, so we can talk about that one more tomorrow if we need to.